Welcome to the Lion's Den. And now, introducing our pride. Family and MWR venturers pitch innovative ideas. The Pride will rate these ideas using their paw prints of approval. First into the den, a new take on an old game. From Army Community Services Family Advocacy Program.
Now we're going to tell you about a wonderful idea we have. Take it away, Stacy.
What? Connections in marriage matters. Couples that play together stay together. Let's play the newlywed game. Couples test their knowledge about their relationship. Given the opportunity to relate to each other as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. Plus, participants have the opportunity to win prizes as well as the audience.
We're looking for 6 spouse couples that have been married for 3 years or less. We're ideally looking for first-termers or new to military, but older couples are more than welcome as well. We're also hoping to make this a USAG on-talk-wide event. So we're going to partner with CYS, the Terrence Playhouse, MWR, and more in order to advertise their events to new spouses in the community.
When? We want to do this in fall of 2021. We chose this time frame specifically because September is Military Spouse Appreciation Month and October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
So where? Just imagine our Sadowski Theater with the stage set up in a game show format with announcers podium, contestant seating, and a backstage area to keep spouses unaware of their partner's answers. Our community members are the live studio audience, providing timely applause and old school game show sounds like the oohs, the ahs, and the surprising gasp.
Why? Why are we doing this, you may ask? Because in family advocacy, we know that relationships matter. We know that communication in relationship matters. We know that the USAG ONSPA community has been especially hit hard by COVID. We know movement has ceased. This has been especially hard for our families. We've seen a rise in domestic violence and child abuse. We hope by providing a fun atmosphere that families and couples can come and relax and engage in, this can bring some laughter back to our community, some happiness. What we know in fact is this. We know that when couples are having fun together, when they're communicating, when they're engaged in activities together, they're not engaged in acts of domestic violence. They're not arguing with each other. So Lions, we hope, sincerely hope, that you would choose this idea, partner with us, and bring some happiness and some fun activity to our community.
So how are we going to make this amazing game show work out? So we're going to save the garrison money by capitalizing on our current inventory and assets. We will partner with the Terrace Playhouse Theater and for props such as a stage show set, professional stage lighting, and talent to serve as the game show host. We will encourage our community members to participate in the show, and the end result will be our own community members working together to encourage healthy relationships through a fun, coordinated community effort with minimal costs outside of marketing and game show prizes.
How much, you may ask, is this going to cost a soldier? $0. We plan to bring this to our community for $0. By partnering with our community partners, we can make this happen. As a community, we can do this for our soldiers and our families. So by partnering with MWI for prizes, that's no cost to the soldiers.
And now, what kind of questions will they be asking?
Ma'am, could you go over the location again one more time?
Yes, location.
Okay, so it'll be at the Sadowski Theater. So just imagine the stage setup. I don't know if you've been to a production by the Terrace Kelly House Theater there, but they set up absolutely amazing lighting. They're professionals at transforming that theater into a game show. So Sadowski Theater, plenty of seating for the community. We hope that we'll have it in time for COVID restrictions to be lifted, but if not, it's a big theater, so there's plenty of space for people to spread out.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Do you plan on having any like refreshments, food, something that would, get people to mingle around a little bit more?
Yes, if COVID restrictions are lifted, we definitely can, with the theater being open, we definitely can provide refreshments, hot dogs, popcorn, sodas. I don't know if we can swing beer, but I'll make it happen if I can. Any other questions?
I have one question. You mentioned briefly on prizes. Were there any prizes for the winning couples?
Yes, we're hoping to partner with MWR. Maybe the winning couple can have a weekend getaway at Edelweiss.
Do you have a virtual plan, just in case?
Absolutely. We were thinking if COVID restrictions were still in place and that having a crowd at Sadowski Theater isn't an option, then we would definitely still want to do it and broadcast it to the community. So we wouldn't have that live audience feel, but I think it would still be a very effective event to live broadcast out to the community.
I think there's a lot of possibility, a lot of potential there.
I love this. I do. You said a thing, relationships matter. I like that. I think the community needs things like this. What we all need really is a reset. Have you considered about how you would go facing your challenges with getting support from other entities? I mean, what is the driving goal for you to partnership with MWR and business and lodging and things like that? You have a success story already.
Well, it definitely brings attention to their businesses as well, and it would make, one of our plans is during the game show, when we're taking breaks, just say if the husbands are going off and the wives are coming in, we plan to have live commercials, and we are hoping that our community partners will come up and showcase what they have going on in their sections. So I hope it will be a community-wide.
I see that as internal sponsorship. I like it.
My question is, how would you conduct outreach at the opportunity to the community? The people use different forms of following and communications.
Well, we know definitely social media is an option. One thing that Army Community Service does well and Family Advocacy does well is outreach. We have briefings all the time. We have commanders briefs, we have briefs with the FRG. Wherever there's an opening, we will be there, and that is a great way to promote this venture.
Let's see how many Pride paw prints of approval this project receives. Wow, 9 paw prints of approval, the most you can get. Let us run along to the next project. And next into the den. Let's take it outdoors. A unique twist bringing activity beyond your normal workout from the Cotterbach Fitness Center.
My name is Chris Corneliuson. I'm the Sports and Fitness Director. My team and I, we're asking for your support in helping us set up an outdoor functional fitness area right in front of the Cotterbach Fitness Center. So what we would do, we would set up a foundation. It's going to be about an 80 square meter section in front of the Cotterbach Fitness Center. And then we're going to install a beaver fit box. It's a 10-foot box. You got that's what I thought I would like to see. We're looking at a 10-foot box. That's about what we would envision in front of our fitness center. They advertise that they can outfit about 50 participants at one time. Our vision is we can really realistically get about 20, 25 people out there. We can have it open during our normal hours of operation. Units can come in and make a reservation. They can block it off. They can do unit PT there. There's all kinds of different ways we can use this outdoor fitness. That was one of the first things that got turned on after the shutdown. So we were trying to find ways, we were looking for different ways that we could offer outdoor activities. We were thinking about bringing the fitness center outdoors, setting it up in a parking lot, something like that. If we have this in place, we're ready for the next whatever happens, okay? This is an overhead view of the Cotterbach Fitness Center, the grassy area you can see. That's a good idea of where we could put it. there's a number of different opportunities that we have, but right now for this presentation, that's where we're envisioning putting it. It still gives us plenty of opportunity in front of the fitness center, which we use for many of our community-wide events. It wouldn't take up too much of that area, but again, it would be about an 80 square meter block. These are the financial estimates. The DPW groundwork will be about $20,000. The impact flooring will be about 12 to 15. And then the beer fit box, it's gonna be 50 to 65. Okay, so it's gonna be a grand total of about $100,000. We'll open it up for questions.
How is this community friendly? Like I see something like this and I only think about the military population. Yet the Cotterbock Fitness Center is for the community as well. What is your vision of garnering community interest beyond the military population, the people who use the gym and you have fitness classes?
That's actually a very good question. Our most popular group exercise class is our functional fitness class. And I've got actually 2 instructors. They would absolutely love the opportunity to use this.
Would this be open outside of normal gym hours, or would it be open only during that area?
We would have to have a staff member there at all times to make sure that it's secured. However, we would still be able to sign that out to units. We would just need to have a responsible party out there to supervise it and make sure it's taken care of.
Okay, so in order for that to happen, you'd have to have someone, I'm assuming from the unit, go take a class beforehand through you guys to make sure that that's good, or would it just
Yes,
be
we would work with
by
unit
labor?
leaders. We would work with the unit leaders to make sure that the reservation process is user friendly. It wouldn't take much effort at all to get it reserved.
Okay.
What if an individual just wanted to say, hey, I want to work outdoors?
Outside of normal business hours, we probably wouldn't be able to do that.
But during business hours?
During business hours, absolutely. We would have it open.
You would just have it open?
We would just have it open.
Is there a question about so being open during business hours? Here in Germany, it does get dark pretty early. What is going to be the lighting situation out there? People that want to work out past 4:30.
That's a very good question. The good news is peak usage time for this is going to be during the summer when the weather's nice, and it stays late till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
So is there a potential, again, for community that this could turn into where maybe perhaps you have a contractor or a fitness specialist that offers a training class outside there for spouses, or a teen program where we're doing some training, good health, things like that?
Absolutely. We're actually offering a class just like that, what you're saying, indoors. Weather's nice outside, we're going outside. So that's an easy possibility.
What does the Pride think about this wonderful idea? Wow! 8 paw prints of approval! That is incredible! On to the next one of our wonderful venturers. Now, entering the den, something completely unexpected. And it's not a bicycle built for 2, presented by the library.
Good afternoon, lionesses. I have some interesting ideas I'd like to share with the den. Some will be specific to the library, and some will just kind of be bigger concepts that all of recreation can participate in. So, we're looking at a geographically dispersed community. We have 3 distinct main housing areas. They all have their own battle rhythm and flavor, so to speak. We're going to come to you with a pop-up recreation station, be parked there. We're going to be where the customers are, because again, geographically dispersed, 3 distinct housing areas. So here you see we're at Ansbach Elementary School. We're at the community showcase, and we're bringing our robotics kits to the community and letting them play with these things because they don't know we have them. You go to where people are, you put it out there, and you let them play with stuff. And then you're somebody who can answer their questions when they get stuck. And if you want to know more, here you go. We'll get you all squared away. So these are some of the really high-end kind of ideas that we're looking at for the book bike. And again, here, just depending on how much weight you're pushing, that'll determine the type of e-bike you're gonna need. Here's an example of, listen, for a lower cost, we could probably make a type of trailer. That sort of book trailer, where we have a bike path and generally flat ground from Cotterbach to Ehrlich and Shipton. If we have an e-bike, we're able to make it up the hill to Blydorn pretty easily. So, circling back to how I said this is going to impact all of community recreation. Here, we're all driving around for force protection in a white panel van. Well, we need some magnetic logos so that when we pull the trailer full of canoes and Jelco and team sets it up, then they slap the magnets on with the big wacky inflatable waving arm man, and they're out there at lunch in front of Ehrlich. I mean, we can do this if we have the resources. So, what's it going to cost? I'm seeking $5,000. Okay, go into our budget. It's going to TVA. The money stays from MWR and goes to another section of MWR, as opposed to going out to a hotel or conference off base. All right. What we're going to use these for is when you're registering, you're getting your info updated for RecTrack. When you're going to see CYS and you're making sure that you're doing your annual update, you're going to be able to register for entry for a trip with outdoor rec. For the libraries, cargo e-bike bookmobile, which again can be used for any type of promotion. It's sort of like when if you're old enough to remember the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, big hit at the parade. It was parked at the grand opening of a car dealership, and that's sort of what the book bike does too. It's providing a service, but it's kind of this cool conversation piece that can be parked in front of any sort of activity that you're offering. And realistically, just the bike alone, if you're going to have a bike that's going to pull a trailer, that bike's going to cost approximately $3,500. So when you look at doing whether you do a 3-wheel combo or you do what they call a long john, which is 2-wheel, or you're realistically looking at, by the time you get the shelving unit in and all the other things, you're looking at about $10,000 for all the work that's got to go into it. So what I'm asking for is 75% of that, and we'll figure out how we're going to get the other 25%. Once you get something like this going, you don't have to pay the whole bill yourself. And the last thing, this was for all of CRD, I'm asking for $5,000 for the basic marketing package. Ensure every organization has their own pop-up sunshades and their own big wavy flags with their branding on it. And then also giveaways. We went back to the t-shirts and the key tag. This is what we're talking about. They might cost 3, 4, 5 euros or something. So this is why I'm kind of asking for 5,000. You know, the big magnetic logos that are going to go on the white panel vans. It's going to cost a couple $100, maybe $1,500. We're going to spend another $1,500, $2,000 on tchotchkes and stuff. And then, you know, these pup tents, pop-up sunshade things, they cost about $300, $400 or so a piece. They're not terribly expensive for your standard 8x8, 9x9, 10x10, something like that. But there is a cost to it. So overall, this is what I'm estimating was about $17,500 if we go with this. At this point, I would ask the Lions if you have questions.
Would you be at the same place every day at the same time at different spots, or would you change that on a daily basis?
We wouldn't do this daily. We would do it on a schedule.
In your plan, to get a little bit to what you're at, in your plan you have a new soldier, you have a new family, they haven't been to Blindorn. We'll assume that there's a regular schedule that the outreach happens at that's predictable. They walk up because they see something. It turns out it's a library, they see a book or something that they like. They don't have an account. You have the ability to give them an account on the spot.
On the spot. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, we got it. You can just walk up, show me your ID card, it has all the information I need to get you started.
And then they can walk away with anything.
Absolutely.
I have 2 kids, I'm not going to drive to Playa it's like a full-service pop-up experience that could be predictable.
I got excited when I was a little kid and the boatmobile came by.
I think it's a viable thing, even, and not just at your location, but all installations.
What level of effort is required from a resource manpower perspective to do this outreach? I would assume you're going to do it concurrently with your library hours, or would you be adding library hours? Would you need additional personnel?
I am getting the manpower to get the folks in place that have the training and education to do these sorts of things. So if community demand is such that this person needs to work up to 39 hours a week, that's what we'll do. Yeah.
You gave us your optimal cost of 17. What's your minimal cost to get off the ground if you were to build it?
We need at least 12.5 so that we can have a workable book bike and cool little tchotchkes to give away to folks to do marketing. Because you have to have, that's just a draw. So I would say the minimal would be 12.5.
So I'm not hung on the bike.
Yep.
A vehicle, I think, is the mode for delivery here.
Okay.
I think that's the big thing, and if it's an already owned vehicle, it's a little bit of configuration. I love the idea of the great bike thing because you're parked outside, but then I think that limits you to weather.
Will the Pride pounce upon this project and give them their paw print of approval? That is 7.5 paw prints of approval. Let us cycle forth to the next presentation. Up next, a visionary recreation area for the Ansbach community, presented by Outdoor Recreation.
We want to show you how you can invest in the U.S. Army Garrison Ansbach community by fulfilling recreational gaps on post. Our vision is to create a multi-use functional area to be housed at Erlos and Soldiers Lake to include a mountain bike park, archery, long-range archery range, paintball field, low-element challenge course, and a camping area. With your support, we believe that we can boost our already great outdoor programs and build an overall more resilient Army. So the benefit of this big concept is that each of these components can be done at low cost, individually, and will have low startup costs and maintenance costs. So why we are pitching this idea is we have come to our attention through the COVID-19 pandemic that we have been limited on our ability to move, exercise, and enjoy outdoor spaces. So who? Mr. Bovender, I've been listening to your questions about overall community. How can this impact overall families and kids? So this is an all-inclusive complex. The GROTC, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, the CYS, as well as single soldiers through the Boss Life Skills program. They can come and develop lifelong recreational safe skills. And furthermore, units can come and build unit cohesion and leadership opportunities.
So just in September, outdoor recreation team, with input from some of the soldiers from the community, we conducted a SWOT analysis. And I'm not going to bore you with all 4 of those, but there's one constant that came up particularly during COVID. And that was when you take away the travels, when you take away the 4 wheels, we cannot go anywhere. We had nothing. We had 0 infrastructure on post. So we had the Soldiers Lake, we have that beautiful hill above the Soldiers Lake. It's already shaped in, I can visualize it. I just need you to help me with that same vision. What we want to do, we want to provide and facilitate skill development. We want soldiers to be able to come, ride, learn. We want to coach them so that when they go on their own, they can do it safely. If you look at it here, this is a Freedom Bike Park. It is built by a Deutsche Alpine Club with community members. That's what we want to do. We want a little bit of seed money. We want community involvement. DPW, we want to build the same park.
Hello Lions, my name is Adam and I'll be presenting a multi-use camping and recreation area at Soldiers Lake. The recreation area will allow USAG on-spot community members to spend time in nature and get a traditional camping experience while stationed in Germany. The recreation areas may be used for unit functions, family bonding getaways, and groups such as the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and ROTC. This would help increase revenue by allowing us to rent the pavilion, tent platforms, and increase our camping equipment rentals.
So I'm Christy. I was able to help fulfill a need over COVID. We created an indoor archery range. We have lots of soldiers that have come and enjoyed it, soldiers that have never shot a bow before, soldiers that have been itching to go shooting because we don't get to just go shooting right now. And so we want to expand our archery range to an outdoor archery range. On the bottom corner, you can see this is our current paintball field down here. There's a lot of area of opportunity here. We can tear down the rest of the obstacle course, make it larger, add in another pavilion for our soldiers, as well as expand our paintball field and expand our archery. And so this would create an area that we can gather for families, soldiers, anybody that's big enough to pull a bow.
One of my visions is to build a low element challenge course. This can provide a lot of fun for individuals, families, but also importantly, it can teach key Army readiness skills such as leadership, communications, conflict management, trust, and team dynamics. So this could be something, start very, very low, no high ropes. That is a lot, big investment and inspections. So we can do low element stuff, but also have a variety of activities that we can do with that.
So, Lions, here's the investment opportunity. And I'll let Joel explain a little bit about how did we come with these numbers.
So here's your investment opportunity. You invest and we actually can produce revenue through your investment. So through the challenge course, we estimated $8,500. The mountain bike park through Boss Life Skills, running clinics, $7,500. The camping area with family and maybe JROTC, about $1,000. And then paintball and archery, $6,000. And these numbers are based on previous involvement in programs we've run before and very viable sources that we know will be funded at least through FY21 with War Adventure Quest and Boss Life Skills. So we believe that this is a great investment opportunity. Please help us use our passions to boost the community here with on-post recreation opportunities. What are your questions?
Would you have to expand the number of employees you have to run a facility like that? That seems if you had the downhill bike course, the archery range open, everything open at the same time, it would take a significant amount of manpower.
Possibly. You know, this would be a new venture for us. Obviously, we're expanding. It's reasonable to expect that staffing would have to expand as well. However, some of these are kind of a self-guided areas. We don't necessarily have to supervise mountain bike course. We have a set of rules. If there's a bike rental, we can facilitate that. And as long as the participants are obeying by the rules, how they safely ride, there's not a lot of involvement with the staffing. The paintball and archery, we're already running that. It would be just facilitated at a different location. So I don't see a huge investment into staffing, but possibly, yes.
Yeah, so I have a question. I see the 4.5-year ROI, but where do you calculate maintenance into this? Is this something that maybe you have a MOA with the scouts that, hey, for percentage of use, we some skills with maintaining, some skills help building? Is it possible to reduce the cost to do this a little bit with some self-help and some partnerships with, you know, units again going to construction? Hey guys, listen, we're going to teach you how to build these, you know, fitness things so that when you go to your next installation, is that a realm of possibility?
Absolutely. We want units to be involved. Maybe we want units to be
cohesion.
What is it called? Kind of adopt one of these facilities, especially if it's a facility that is not manned by outdoor rec staff. If it's we want to create these community park feel environments where community kind of takes ownership of the certain areas.
The Bavarian way.
The
Bavarian way.
Yep.
Would you be planning to do tournaments for each of these events?
I'd be very open to issue keys to the paintball field under supervision and have boss organize a tournament and create a tournament where they can raise money for their program.
And where's your mountain mountain bike course?
Mountain bike course is the hill that's between Soldiers Lake and Shipton area.
For your challenge course, you discussed that it was a low impact. Are there different levels of challenges for the course? What's the total number of obstacles? And how many personnel, if it's a family or a platoon or a squad, how many personnel can go through at one?
It can be modular, really. So I would say permanent structures, 5 to 8, and those can be built. And then the group size, like I say, 10 is a kind of minimum number for a good team building leadership, but up to a full platoon, 25 people.
So is your challenge course geared to military or to families, or is it dual purpose?
It would be dual purpose for sure. Like I said, it's an awesome opportunity for some of that team building leadership for units. But if you got a Boy Scout group or a Girl Scout group, that would be perfect for
birthday parties.
Birthday parties, yeah. Come and learn basic skills and play around. I think it would be very dual purpose.
Great plan or proposal. I'm really impressed with a lot of the thought that went into it. How long would it take, do you see, to build something like this?
But I would say paintball archery is probably the quickest one. Probably camping area is also very fast one. Challenge course, it's a matter of getting the right vendors, either building in-house or buying the platforms. So I don't see a long process.
I like it.
Will the Prowling Pride put their paw print of approval on this project? Holy moly, that is 10 paw prints of approval! A surprise paw print was drawn out of nowhere! And on to the next presentation. And last, returning to the den, a familiar face with a sign of the times.
I'm asking you to help us invest in our image. The Catawba Fitness Center, this was finished in 2015. The project was $15.5 million. There's a lot of investment that went into this, a lot of time. And now, here's our sign. This is how we get our message across. It's pretty bad, right? I know. Yeah. So I think we can do a lot better. I'd like to have a nice sign that displays, puts NWR in a nice light. It's a backlit sign. You got an electronic marquee that you can use to advertise for any of our programs. We have an important message that needs to get out to the community, a weather delay, whatever it may be. All kinds of opportunities there to advertise. This is the layout. DPW, they would build a wall for us. It's going to be 10 by 10. The backlit sign is 8 by 4 feet, and then the electronic marquee is 6 by 3. This is the finances. The wall construction will be about $5,000. The backlit sign and electronic marquee about $15,000. So total cost is about $20,000. Again, it's not necessarily an income generation opportunity, but it's going to help our image. Any questions?
Yeah, I think with the Summer with hand, it's something a little bit more Bavarian. Something a little bit more, that fits Cotterbach rather than the same sign they have at Graf out there or Hohenfels. So I like the concept. I think it's good because we struggle sometimes with advertising to events, knowing when yoga starts, knowing when our fitness containers open and ready for use. Those types of things would be ready to flash. I can see the purpose of it. Absolutely.
There is a standard now. I'm not sure that $20,000 is the number. I think you have to add a 1 to that. Based off of my knowledge, it's pretty expensive. And if you're going to go whole hog, I believe, in my opinion, you need to consider going tall. There is a certain amount of that, and I think you need to research with the Six Signal and find out about fiber, what the requirement is, where you're going to put it. Because it's a venture.
Right, okay. The sign that you saw that was pictured there, we put that in front of the Post Gym in Homefels when I was there after our renovation. And those prices are pretty accurate based on that signage. But the point you mentioned about a higher sign, I was told that there's some history here about having a sign that's a little bit too high because of the air traffic.
Gotcha.
So that's one challenge that we would definitely have to research. But, yeah.
Clock tower.
Not to mention the trees that are alongside that road.
Right.
So if it's too high, in the summertime, once the leaves start to sprout again, covering up the sign, you want to make sure it's still visible from long distance on that main road I'm talking about.
Right.
There's a lot to consider. I like the idea. We need it for sure.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Did you say this will be used just primarily for the gym, or is it like co-use for everyone in the garrison?
It would be used primarily for MWR programs and activities. However, if there is a garrison-wide event or message to the community that we need to get out, absolutely.
How about if I wanted to say happy birthday to my daughter?
That one, I don't know if we're going to be able to personalize it that much, but I'm sure we could work on something.
That might be a good idea.
Charge for it.
Yeah, that'd be a good pitch.
That might be the idea for the old sign. Still making money.
I guess there's a garrison thing, whose birthdays are today, just let it roll across or maybe for 20 minutes, so I think it's not a bad idea.
There's a number of opportunities, but the standard brown sign, we can do that.
I think you also have to do line of sight survey, right? Between the height and between, what it's for, and between the road, as you say. I'm not really sure what these standards or anything.
Yeah, and a lot of them can also depend upon your state in Germany, what it is.
Will the Pride pounce upon this prime opportunity and give them their paw prints of approval? Eight paw prints of approval to show that we support the signs of our time. Thank you for joining us for this installment of The Lion's Den.